The smartest investment you can make right now is in long-term food storage and your Prepper Pantry. You can't lose. Its value is going nowhere but up, and no matter what happens, you're always going to need it. Hey guys, it's Jara with Wicked Prepared. Right now, we are staring a global food crisis straight in the face. And depending on where you are in the country or where you are in the world, this might be more of an availability crisis or an affordability crisis. But right now, it is crucially important to build our personal buffer zone against all the things we may face in the future. Between global instability and local unrest, wildly shifting and unpredictable patterns of weather and other natural events, grid instability, food safety issues, as well as many possibilities far worse than any of those, it's something we all need to do. If you do it right and build a perpetually rotating system of food along with vital supplies and gear to get you through grid down or other crises, you've ensured a much better outcome for yourself and your loved ones. In today's video, I'm sharing what we've been stocking up on and adding to our preps and our Prepper Pantry lately. And at the end, I'm going to try out and taste test some new finds and let you know if I think they're worth adding to your Prepper Pantry. Let's jump right in. All right, I'm going to start right over here on this side. I'm going to start with the things in the front. Now, these couple of things I had never seen before. They just popped up, and this was a 2-pack because it was a little bit of savings buying two. So they're little teeny carrying cases. So they come with 2 different clips, a bigger one and a smaller one, and they have a silicone like thing it pops into. This pops out, and this is just a little case that screws open. So it's supposed to be watertight, and you could stash just a little something in here. I think I remember reading that they're supposed to hold most types of earbuds, which I'm not really concerned about earbuds because I don't really use earbuds very much, and mine have a case. But I think this would be great for storing like a dose of some medications or supplements that you wanted to have with you, or storing just a little bit of cash. You could fold up a bill, stick it in there. A lot of people, it's not going to be a really hidden thing, but a lot of people probably wouldn't even know what this is. You wouldn't have to have it hanging outside your bag. You could have it hanging inside your bag. Like if you have a little loop for your keys, you could just stash it in there somewhere. I just thought these were cute and handy. They have a bunch of different colors. And like I said, I got a deal on the 2-pack because I think like many members of my family could use these. Next, I did get one more of these can openers with the crank handle. These have been so popular. I love mine, and so many people, they had sold out because so many people wanted one, and they got restocked. So I ordered one because I wanted to give it as a gift to my grandmother, because this type of crank handle is so much easier on your hands opening, like when when people get older and they have a hard time with that. And I got one, and we had a whole list of people waiting for these, and a lot of people got one, but I think some people still missed out, and then they're sold out again. So last time we took a list of people who wanted them. So if you are waiting for one of these can openers or you want one of these, I'll put the link down below. You can check if they have come back in stock, but if not, just text can opener to my number that I'll put down there, and I'll send you a text when they do come back in stock, because this has been a really, really popular item. Next, I got this carrying case for a camp stove. So like a butane stove, like what I have to use indoors in emergencies. And I have 2 butane stoves, and both of them come in a hard case. But what attracted me to this one is it actually has pockets on the front for some butane and propane fuel. So I thought that was really cool to have it all in one. And it says that you can put your stove in its case into this soft bag. So you don't have to give up the hard case, apparently. You just get the extra protection and the ability to stash your fuel and your stove all together. So I'm going to put that to the test a little bit later in the video and see if I can fit. I have 2 different brands of stove, so we'll see if they both fit in here or which one fits and how it really works. And next I've got this month's haul of freeze-dried and dehydrated items. So first, up front here, I've got a bunch of number 10 cans of freeze-dried and dehydrated items. So there was a really good sale. There's a good sale still going on. So some of these are part of a sale bundle. So this is freeze-dried sweet potato, dehydrated potato dices, white potato, freeze-dried green beans, dehydrated potato flakes, and then I've got some freeze-dried sweet corn over here. So these first 4 are part of a sale bundle called Spuds and Greens. So they've got, multiple different types and forms of potato, and then they've got the green beans for your green veggie. So something that's exciting about this here is you see this one has the new packaging. So anyone who's familiar with Thrivalist, Thrivalist is the company. They make the Ready Harvest food. Now, make no mistake, do not mistake this with Ready Wise or Ready Hour. Any of those other ones, there's absolutely no comparison. Completely different type of thing. It's kind of like comparing a McDonald's hamburger to a filet mignon steak at a fine restaurant. So the Ready Harvest food is what Thrivalist makes, but Thrivalist also has survival gear. They have, all sorts of different survival gear and all sorts of education classes, training, and things like that. So they kind of are very broad in everything you would possibly need for emergency preparedness and survival. And then Ready Harvest is just the food portion of it. But they are redoing the labeling to kind of sort of, combine the two to show that it's Thrivalist and Ready Harvest. So this one here has the new labeling, the freeze-dried sweet potato, and then the rest are still in the old labeling. But these are some really great items to have in your pantry. Now, when you start getting into number 10 cans like these, freeze-dried and dehydrated items, these all have a 30-year shelf life. So this is when you're starting to look at really, really investing in food for your future. Now, this, make no mistake, you can absolutely eat this now. It is very, very good. It's nutritious, it's delicious, and it's really convenient and handy for current use right now. But you can also build it up, stash it up, store it up, and know that you're going to have food, for the next 30 years. Potatoes are actually a really important food for survival and for preparedness. There's actually a two food combination that can really sustain humans with most nutrients that a human being needs to live, and it's milk and potatoes. So potatoes are super, super important. And they're really pretty inexpensive and pretty basic. They're pretty, most people aren't going to be allergic to them. Most people are going to like them cooked some way. And then sweet potatoes also fit into that, but they also have the added benefits of all the extra nutrition that sweet potatoes have, because sweet potatoes have extra vitamins and minerals and all sorts of things. Sweet potatoes definitely is like a superfood. So I did get this as a sale bundle. It's on sale just through the end of the month. So I think if you're watching this might be the last day. If you want to go check that out, I will have links and everything you need to get the lowest price available. And then this corn I grabbed, it wasn't part of the bundle, but they had a sale earlier in the month. That was an America 250 sale for the first couple weeks or week and a half of July. And they had really amazing prices, like up to 50% off, I believe. So corn was a really good deal. I do use a lot of corn in recipes, meals in a jar, just every sort of thing. It goes great in snack mixes. You can eat it dry. It's super delicious. So I grabbed this because it was a really good deal, just added it in with my sale bundle. And I do use their subscribe and save option to make sure that I get the lowest price, but you can change those up every month. So that's what I do. I change it up every month. And next, I've got some bags back here. So these are all freeze-dried items. This is a little bit different. Now these bags, you can see how huge these are because these number 10 cans are gallon cans. And so look at these bags next to these gallon cans. And this is another thing that's really exciting because it's new packaging. A lot of people know and love Wise Harvest as a freeze-dried food company that's more dedicated to produce, fruits, vegetables, and more snacks, things that you would eat, healthy snacks, basically. But they're also good for preparedness. They're not going to last as long as items in a can, but they are going to last several years, and that's all you need if you're rotating your stock. So what's really, really exciting about these is not only that it's new packaging. Any of you that have purchased Wise Harvest before, you probably notice the different packaging. It's so colorful. But another thing that's really cool about these is that this big bag contains 10 smaller pouches that are like a single serving. So that is really handy for snacking. It's really handy for a lot of different things. So these lemons were so popular, kind of like the can opener. These lemons have sold out and sold out. People love these lemons. They're amazing. I've used them in recipes. I've done a Greek lemon chicken soup. They're great to put in drinks. They're great to put in tea and soda and water, if you like lemon and that. And so it's great to have these little individual sized pouches. I wouldn't call this a snack item. Personally, to me, I wouldn't just snack on lemons. But like I said, bringing a little pouch along to add to your drinks if you're out and about, or just to have a small pouch. So if you open this up to use at home, you're not worried about, the rest of your bag getting, a little bit stale. But besides the lemons, there's the seasoned corn. This is delicious. It has seasoning on it, so it's a great snack. So a little 10 snack pouches, also amazing on salad. So to have a little pouch in your bag if you eat a salad out, I love to put corn on my salads. And then freeze-dried figs. Figs are actually a superfood. They have so much nutrition in them. So this is a great snack. If you like fruit or your kids like fruit, to be able to have figs to put in like your kid's lunchbox or something, that's something different that you're not going to find just anywhere. And then of course the sugar snap peas. Now these are just pure sugar snap peas. So these are going to be a great snack for my daughter for school because she loves those snap pea crisps. But if you actually look at the ingredients, they shape them like a pea and they lead people to believe that they're just a really nutritious vegetable snack. But if you look at the ingredients and the nutrition, there's other stuff in there, and peas are not like the main ingredient. So these are just peas. All of these foods, if you check out the ingredients list, well, these have peas and sea salt, so they are salted, but that's it. And then the other ones like this, the figs, for instance, it's just figs. There's no sugar added. There's no nothing. The corn, of course, is seasoned, so it's going to have a seasoning. The lemons is just lemons, and that is it. So I am really, really excited about this new packaging, and these products are all amazing. I have tried these, but I'm going to open these up for you guys a little bit later, show you what they look like inside, what the little pouches look like, what size they are, you know, what is in the pouches, what they look like. So we'll check this all out a little bit closer later. If you do go check out the Wise Harvest site, I've got a link down below and on the screen that will give you the lowest possible prices. I also have a coupon code that you can use on most orders. It's just my name, Jara, Jara. And then also they have a tropical paradise sale that's going on right now, just through the end of the month. So it's another day or two. And that is up to 20% off of a lot of their tropical, fruits and bundles and things. A personal favorite of ours, the freeze-dried coconut, is included in that, I believe. So go ahead and check it out and see if there's anything that you want to grab while the sale is still going on. Use my coupon anytime, any order. I don't think it works with the sale though, but you can use it on any other items that aren't included in the sale, and any other order when there's no sale going on, just to give you an extra discount. And then up here, this is something that we are super excited to have. It's a new sort of off-grid cooking type of tool that we got. This is a pizza oven. So it's an artisan pizza oven, and it's not a standalone. It's made to sit on our Camp Chef, which is like a big 2-burner, big camp stove on legs. It stands up so you can stand. You don't have to put it on a table. If you're not familiar with a Camp Chef, they are amazing. We use ours for all kinds of stuff. We love it for camping. It would be great for outdoor cooking in a power outage. We also use it for maple syrup making. We use it for outdoor canning. It is amazing. And you can put this pizza oven right on it. But what Mr. Wicked Prepared did is he actually rigged it up just a little bit so that he can actually use the pizza oven on our turkey fryer burner, which is just like a pretty inexpensive single burner. I'll put a picture on the screen. Because our Camp Chef isn't out all the time, and he didn't want to have to get out the whole Camp Chef every time he wanted to do something in the pizza oven. But he's been doing a lot of cooking in sort of his little outdoor kitchen, a lot of cooking of healthier, low carb foods for us, because if you have been following along, we've been on a weight loss journey, lost a bunch of weight, won a bunch of cool prizes. I'll share more about that down below. But this was something he really wanted, and it's going to be amazing. And then we also got a couple of keto pizza crust mixes to use with this. He has made crust out of cottage cheese and a few other ingredients that's really, really good. And he's made crust out of Carb Quick. But we just thought we would try these and just see how they are. So I will let you know about that if you are a low carb eating person. And next, okay, these containers here, they're called Hefty High Rise. And the reason they're called high rise, because you can see how tall up the lid goes. So you can really kind of heap these containers up over the top. And they have a latch. The lid seals down with a latch. I can't open it right now without tipping it over, but I'll show you a bit later. I actually had a couple of these, and I had one left that I hadn't filled up with other things. And I had a bunch of freeze-dried food in bags, a little bit smaller bags than these. There's a couple brands that we buy from. I'll put some videos on the screen because I had some bags to put away, and freeze-dried food in bags actually packs up really well. It's one thing people really like about the bags is that they can lay into a container almost just like laying bricks. They fit in so well and they save a lot of space. You're never going to get a dented can. Speaking of dented cans, I want to tell you when I opened up this order, I'm going to put a video on the screen. I'm always super impressed. I have never yet gotten dented cans from Thrivalist. And if you've ever bought a lot of different, food storage in cans, you know that that sometimes can be an issue. The way that they packed their cans was amazing. They had all this extra padding in to make sure those cans were not moving around and there was not going to be dents. So I was really impressed with that. But back to the bags. So these containers were absolutely perfect. I will put some video on the screen to show you how perfectly these bags laid into these containers. So I had to get some more because we do store a lot of food like that. And these are also good for a lot of other things too. They're not, they make these high rise in different sizes. They have them in a really big size, but this is just 32 quart. So it's not too big and not too small. It's kind of like a perfect in-between size. And yeah, the lid latches down tightly, so that's going to also help protect that food in bags. And I was able to get a lot of food into these containers. They stack. They're really just great. Next up here, we've got some really cool new things. I think they're new. I've never seen them anyway, so I've never seen. This is Hamburger Helper Breakfast #1. So let me show you. There's actually a box back here. So this is a breakfast hamburger helper. This one's Southwest style hash browns. I'd never seen these before. Maybe they're not new. Maybe I just hadn't seen them, but I thought this was cool. I think there was like 3 different flavors, but this was the only one that I could find in stock. I did order it, I think from Amazon. I'll put links to where I found it down below. But I thought this was really cool. So this is the box one. And this one, you add your breakfast sausage, just like you would add your hamburger to the hamburger helper. You add water and you add eggs. And it makes you a breakfast dish. But these little cups, they already have the sausage in them. So it's got to be either freeze-dried or dehydrated. And it's sausage and potatoes. And I think you just add water. So this one does tell you to microwave it. But what I'm hoping is that I can just add boiling water and let it set. And then if it'll work that way, these will be very emergency friendly because it's really great to have a breakfast meal that you can just add some boiling water and you're going to have a warm meal. So we'll see if that works. I'm going to try that out later in the video. And if it doesn't work, I'll just pop it in the microwave. It won't go to waste. But another thing is, like if you've got, family members that live alone and they just need small, easy meals sometimes, or college kids. I've got a kid going off to college in a month. And I think these are going to be great little dorm room things to have around, just all sorts of things. I did get this one in a 6-pack. Like I said, there was 3 different varieties, I think, but they weren't all readily available, at least that I could find. Let me know if you've ever seen these in your store, because I found them on Amazon and probably Walmart.com, but I've never seen them in my store that I've noticed. And then behind there, so these are new. These are Kraft Mac and Cheese Restaurant Edition. So they've got 3 different flavors. There's a Monterey Jack and caramelized onion, Parmesan pesto, and Romano. I don't even know how to say that, so we're not going to bother. But I had seen these. I thought they looked really kind of interesting, but I saw them at the store and they were kind of expensive. So I thought I'm not going to probably try those right off. But they were $2.97. Now here is why everybody should be using Ibotta. I know a lot of you do have Ibotta. If you do, get in the habit of checking it out if you don't already, because deals like this pop up all the time. If you don't have it already, I will put a link down below where I think you get some extra money in your account if you use my link. But it is a rebate app, and I opened up the rebate app and I saw that there was a rebate for these mac and cheese for $2.97. And I thought, I wonder how much that's going to take off. So I went and looked, and they were $2.97. They cost $2.97, and it gave me the chance to use the rebate 3 times. There's 3 flavors. But I also noticed there was another rebate at the same time for, it looked like the same items, for $3.97, I think. Unless I'm getting the numbers a little bit wrong, I'll put it up on the screen just to be sure, because I don't have it right in front of me. But I think that's what it was. And so I thought, I wonder if both of these, I didn't see any reason why they wouldn't both work, because it looked like they were both for the same item. So I ordered these 3 and I got both rebates on them. So I bought 3 boxes of pasta, $2.97 each, got the $2.97 back on each box, and got the $3.97 or whatever the other number was, which means I not only got the 3 boxes of pasta for free, but I made over $10 in extra cash just for getting these free boxes of pasta. So things like this pop up on Ibotta all the time. And Walmart did have the $2.97 rebate available as Walmart cash, but I don't think they had the extra. So it was definitely worth using Ibotta. I always use Ibotta first, and then you can still use your Walmart instant rebate thing in the Walmart app after you use your Ibotta. You can't use them both at the same time. They know if you try, so it won't give you both, but you can use one and then the other on your next transaction. And speaking of free food, that's why I had this Kinder chocolate bar up there too, because this was also this was free with a rebate, and I've gotten them free with a rebate before. I've gotten 5 at a time free with the rebate. This time I think it was just 1, but honestly, somebody in my family will eat this. Somebody in my family will eat all these. We know how expensive food is right now. Anytime you can get anything for free, grab it. It'll come in handy at some point, and if it's something you can't or won't eat, you can give it away. You can give it away to somebody who could use it. So definitely check out Ibotta if you don't already have it. And if you do have it, open it up every few days. Check it out for these types of rebates. I'll put that down below. Now something else back here. This is something, this is for pets, but we do prep for our pets. And this is freeze-dried chicken and rice. So this is for stomach, like when your pet's having stomach problems, they need a bland diet of chicken and rice. But this is just having it on hand, freeze-dried, in case, like, you know, your pet is sick. When your pet is sick or your family member is sick, it's usually good to have stuff on hand already, because, you know, things are hectic. They need to be cared for. Usually when your pet's sick with stomach problems, there might be extra messes to clean up. Even if you have chicken and rice on hand, you might not want that one extra thing to do to, you know, cook up the chicken and rice for your pet. This would be easy. Just add hot water or cold water and you'll have it ready to go for them. I really wanted to have this on hand. This is made in the USA. That's awesome. And in emergencies times too, you know, you never know, your pet might have stomach distress and you may not have chicken and rice on hand or a way to cook it. And I am going to leave all this stuff in the very back for the very end, but let's go on over here and see what kind of stuff is over here. So this is something I got. I had this for a little while, but I hadn't really talked about it. This is a smartwatch that goes with my phone, and I really decided this really is kind of, it relates to me, to like preparedness, because the reason I got this was really for my health. I never really was interested in having this as like an extension of my phone. Like, I don't need to answer text messages on my wrist or anything like that. But I saw somebody who was tracking their sleep with their smartwatch and fixing their sleep and finding out how well they were sleeping and what they could do to fix it. And like, I really wanted to, you know your sleep is so importantly tied into your immunity and your health and all of that. So that was why I got this. But it's come in handy for so many more things, like health-wise especially. It can track like my heartbeat and all sorts of different things in the watch. It has tools on it, like it has a compass, which I thought was really, really cool. And I am not 100% sure. I'll need to do some testing, I guess, or maybe somebody out there knows and can tell me if the compass would work with no cell phone service. See, this watch itself, this doesn't have its own cell phone service. It connects to my phone with Bluetooth. So I'm thinking that compass might actually work if you didn't have cell service. Like if you were lost somewhere and it was grid down, or even if it wasn't grid down though, to have a compass right there that's just with you all the time, I thought that was handy. So I thought, you know, our technology, we don't necessarily think of it as preparedness tools, but it really is. There's a lot of tools on these things that relate to that. So I showed you these crusts. Now this was something really cool. I saw this and I thought this was really neat. So it's a little Glad little waste basket, but it has a little, like, it can hook onto things. So what I thought was really attractive is it says it can hook onto like your drawers on the front of your counter. So like you could scrape your, you know, veggie choppings or something right into it. I thought that was really, really cool. But it also says you can, you know, hang it in your car or lots of different places. I'll bet there's lots of different places that this would be handy. So, and it collapses. See, it's collapsed down right now. I have one hand. I can't really pull it out, but it pulls out and expands. So right now it's collapsed down really small and thin, so it's out of the way. So that's really kind of cool. And then I've got some of these Tangle pastas. I have tried these before. I've gotten the creamy mushroom flavor and we really liked it. So these are high protein. They're actually not really low carb, which I was kind of bummed about, but they are high protein. So if that is what you're looking for, The one I've tried was pretty tasty. So this one is the chunky tomato. My kids love pasta with tomato sauce. So I thought I would try this for them. So this has 6 bags or 4 bags. 4 bags inside that are just like your typical ramen in a small package. And then this is like a cup that you can pour boiling water into. Now, once again, it might call for microwaving. I will try these out a little bit later in the video. I want to see if my kids like these. I think this would be another good college snack, but if it can be cooked with boiling water only, then it would be really great for preparedness as well. A nice big hot bowl of high protein pasta with sauce, just by pouring boiling water, that would be awesome. Now I've got all of these teas. So these are great value. If you are familiar with Smooth Move tea, it is a sort of a medicinal tea. It is, I think that's the brand, Traditional Medicinals, but it's like a laxative tea. So if you need help going, you can take this tea at bedtime. It's natural, gentle. Take it at bedtime, and the next morning, boom, you're golden. And I was needing to restock our supply of Smooth Move tea. Like, I definitely like to have that on hand. And it's really kind of expensive. And I think it's gotten more expensive since the last time I had to buy it. But I stumbled upon this, which is Great Value's version of the same thing. It was much, much cheaper. Like, I think it was $3 a box. But the problem is that it wasn't available for shipping, and it wasn't available at my store. And people in the reviews, I read the reviews, everybody said it worked really well. But people in the reviews said it was very hard to find. So I did find a store that was about an hour away from me that had it in stock. And I actually had to go down to that town anyways to pick up my mother. So I ordered some online and did a pickup order and ordered a whole bunch of it. I ordered as much as I could. I think it lets you order 12 boxes at a time, I think, because I just don't know when I'd ever be able to get it again. So this will last us for a very long time. I also got this one, which is basically the same thing. It's a different brand, but it's not a store brand. So it's a little bit more expensive. It was in between, the Smooth Move and the Great Value. So I just got one package to try, maybe in case these weren't very good, but these are very good. And, work well, taste good. So I'll also try this one. But I don't know if I will buy the Smooth Move for a while unless I'm not able to get these anymore, because these work just the same and they're less than half the price. I will put a link down below so you can see if you are able to get it for shipping or if your store has it. If your store doesn't have it, if you go to pickup, select pickup, underneath it will tell you, you can check other stores near you. There's a little button for that. So you can see if you can find this anywhere, if it's something you'd be interested in. And then I grabbed this little can. It's like the sardine cans, smoke flavored salmon, coho salmon, 19 grams of protein in this. So I thought this would be good to try. Trying to add more. I do love having canned seafood in my prepper pantry. It's usually pretty healthy and just different, something different with protein and like a lot of good nutrients. Never had seen this before. So I thought I would give this a try and see if I like that. If I do, I'll buy more. This little thing right here is a little measuring, like, I don't know what you'd call this, a flask, a cup. It's got a spout for pouring, which I think is handy. It has markings for everything. It has ounces, milliliters, tablespoons, and teaspoons. Now, I have a thing or two that are like this, but smaller. But this one caught my eye because it has this pour spout and it measures a little bit bigger amounts. And I think these are super handy. I love having these on hand. Let's put it here so you can really see what it looks like. And then some different seasonings and sauces. So this potato salad seasoning, this stuff is the bomb. This stuff is really good on potato salad, other things like deviled eggs. It's really, really good. I've used this before. Then I have some new ones that I love seasonings. Seasonings are so important for your prepper pantry so that you can have a variety of tastes in your food and not get sick of eating the same thing. So I love trying new seasonings. This is a McCormick signature seasoning caramelized onion, which I think sounds really good. I've never tried that one. Couple of sauces that sounded really interesting. These are just Great Value, creamy jalapeno and creamy chipotle with a little nozzle for drizzling it over your tacos or whatever. I thought these would be cool to have on hand. Some different sugar-free sauces and things because we are on a health journey, on a weight loss journey. So these Walden Farms dressing, I haven't tried this one. I've tried a different brand of sugar-free Thousand Island that I like, but this one, I've tried their chicken dipping sauce and it's pretty good, and it's 0 calories, 0 net carbs, 0 everything. So that's pretty amazing. I'm not sure how they do that, but I'm going to try this and see how it is. This is like a Big Mac sauce, basically, 0 sugar. And then this is a honey Dijon dressing because Mr. Wicked Prepared likes honey mustard. It is sealed, but it doesn't look that full. That's weird. Maybe that's normal. Jalapeno pepper flakes from Sam's Club. These will be good for seasoning things, good for meals in a jar, all sorts of things. And then this looked so good. I got 2 of them. Garlic lime seasoning. I love lime flavor, and I thought this sounded really good, so I wanted to try this. And then, of course, these submarine dressings. These are just great to have in the summer if you're doing sub sandwiches or anything like that to drizzle. It's like drizzling oil over your sub, but you gotta shake it up, but it's got a bunch of other stuff in it. And then I also got 3 cases. So this is 3 6-pack cases of my favorite peanut sauce. Now you might think that's a little bit excessive. Why did I get 3 cases? Well, this was on clearance. It was on sale. Walmart's been doing some weird things. So these cases, this is usually over $4 a bottle. And I love this stuff. It's my favorite peanut sauce. I use it for lots of different stuff. It says dipping on it, but you can dip it, but I use it for recipes. I use it for like cold noodle salads in the summer. I use it for wraps with some like raw coleslaw mixed with some of this and a little bit of mayonnaise, and then put that in the wrap or the pita with some grilled sliced chicken and a little more sauce drizzled over. It makes a really good wrap. Lots of recipes. You can use this in stir fries. But they had, for some reason, like I said, the individual bottles are over $4. They had these 6-pack cases on sale for just over $12, I think. It said clearance. So I grabbed 3 of them. The next day, they were back to regular price. So they weren't cleared out. I don't know if it was, maybe older dates that they had to get rid of, but I know that this will stay, fine on my shelf for a long, long time. So I'll be able to use this up, and this is going to save me money in the long run. I mean, at this point, this might be a lifetime supply for me, but this is the way I like to do things. If I can get a really good price on something I know I use, a lot of, and I'm going to use consistently, then I grab as much as I can, or as much as I know I'll be able to get through before it goes bad. I did post this deal as soon as I saw it. I posted it in my Wicked Prepared Prepping Deals and Steals Facebook group. That's kind of the place where I put really quick come and go deals. Sometimes these deals are gone, like I said, within a day. Sometimes there's just a few items. There was a really good price on a Camp Chef stove, I think it was. They only had a few left and it sold out really quickly, but I do put those deals on there. So if you want to have a chance of grabbing these really quick come and go deals, go join the group and turn on all your notifications, because the way Facebook is, sometimes you won't see a post for days and days after it's posted, and by then the deal could be gone. And then I also grabbed a couple of these. So these are cup noodles, Texas barbecue flavor. So they've been releasing a lot of kind of fun flavors in limited edition. We've tried like dill pickle. We've tried buffalo ranch. If they're just fun to try, and if we like the flavor, we could grab a few more to have on hand. Like I said, these are not the healthiest thing, but they are quick and easy. If you need something, in an emergency, just add hot water. They're usually pretty tasty and comforting to people. And you can definitely make them healthier by adding some proteins and some veggies and stuff like that. So I just like to grab the new flavors whenever I see them, just to give them a try and see how they are, because I just think that's interesting. And then a bunch of milk from Dollar Tree. This is one of my favorite preps from Dollar Tree. These are great to have on hand. Still a really good deal. They're a quart of milk, real milk. They taste great. They're just milk. Shake them up really good, refrigerate them, chill them, and they're really good. They do not have the same shelf life, as they're usually about a year shelf life, and they don't actually last very much past that. So you need to keep them rotated. If you want something that's going to last a lot longer and be a little more versatile, then of course like an instant milk powder is going to be your best friend. But these are good on their own right, because they don't need water added. We just rotate these a lot more often. We use these a lot more. They're great for a lot of things. Camping, if you run out of milk and you don't want to run to the store, you've got a little jug here. They're great. And then, of course, my back row back here, this is all disposable paper, mostly paper goods. I've got the plastic cups over there, but most of this is paper. So it's really good to have disposable things like this on hand for emergencies, because if you don't have, hot running water, you're not going to want to do a bunch of extra dishes. Your paper plates can actually be used to help start your fires. Waxed paper is pretty good for fire starting. And so you're not going to necessarily have a bunch of waste if you can burn them. But it's just better in a power outage usually to have something disposable and not have to worry about dishes. So I've got basically most of the things that we use here is just a restock. So if I have less of something, it's just because I'm not really that low on that particular thing. So I've got the large plastic cups and then the medium size paper cups. Then I've got large paper plates, medium paper plates, small paper plates, and I've got large bowls and small bowls. And then of course, a thing of Q-tips. I cannot live without my Q-tips. I've got to clean my ears after every shower, and I use them for other things like makeup. So we definitely don't ever want to run out of that. And we want to make sure we have plenty of these in case of emergency, in case of supply chain issues, all the things. So most of these are all from Sam's Club, except for some reason, these medium-sized plates I think are cheaper on Walmart, I guess, or at least they were at the time I was ordering all this, because I always check prices and just double check and make sure. But Sam's Club is the way to go, at least in our area, for most of the stuff. And I got Sam's, whatever their extra membership is, where you can get free shipping. Now it's on $50 and above. It didn't used to be, but still. So I don't have to, because our Sam's Club is an hour away. So I don't always get there, but this stuff I can have shipped. So it's awesome. Oh, and one more thing I did forget to show here. This is a book that got sent to me in the mail. This is The Story of Azure Standard. So we buy a lot of our Prepper Pantry stuff at Azure Standard. If you shop there, you know. If you know, you know. If you don't shop there, I'm going to put a link down below where you can check them out and register for an account. It's an amazing place. They sent me this book, and I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if they're sending them to everyone. It says advanced reader copy, not for sale, uncorrected proof. So I'm not sure if they're just sending these out, but the story of this company really is remarkable. And if you don't have this book, they do actually have a lot of information on their website. So like I said, I will put the link down below so you can go check it out. They're a great place to buy all kinds of organic and natural foods. I get bulk wheat berries there. There's a lot of beans and rice in bulk, flour, pasta, all sorts of stuff, lots of organic stuff. You can buy things by the case. The prices are great. Set up an account. I will put a link there. Check and see if there's a drop near you. And it's really a great, great store. But I'm really looking forward to checking out this book because the story is really remarkable. I'm just not really sure why they sent me this book. So I'm curious if everybody else who shops through Azure got this as well. So that's what I got. So let's get into some of this, check some things out, test some things, taste test some things, and see what we think of them. All right, I've got some of the things that I wanted to taste test here. I'm going to try one of these restaurant style mac and cheese. I've got this tomato protein noodle bowl, the Texas barbecue ramen. I wanted to try this cheesy hash brown breakfast helper cup. Now, I am going to do something with the box one, the larger meal, in an upcoming video, so make sure you're subscribed to see what I'm going to do with that. And then while the water's heating for all of these different meals and coming to a boil, I'm going to open up some of these freeze-dried items just to show you kind of like what they're like inside. I know a lot of people want to see what's going on, especially with this new packaging, and a lot of people are curious to see, you know, the Ready Harvest cans inside. And I'm also going to check out this stove carry bag and see, you know, how it works and if it fits my stove with the case like it said it's going to. All right, now let's open up some of these bags. Now look at how huge this bag is. I can't even fit it all in the camera view. So these are huge, 10 pouches inside. So let's get these opened up. Now there is also a Ziploc on the outer bag, which I think is pretty cool. So you can Ziploc this closed and then have all these inner bags inside. So here is one of the 10 inner bags. You can see they're packed in there pretty good. So here is one pouch of the lemons. Oh, that smells so good. So here you can see the lemons in there. You've got several slices. So it's like kind of a single serving. Now this could be more than one serving of lemons if you were putting it in a drink or something. And what I would do with this, if I had this in my purse, is I usually carry one of these little clippies because sometimes I will have a pouch of something, whether it's like a supplement powder or a drink mix or something like this. I'd have two hands. I often will have something that I'm not finishing and I want to be able to seal up tight. So I usually just carry one or two of these little clips. If you didn't use a bag like this, then that's what I would do. I always have one of these in my stuff on me. But so this is your serving of lemons in the bag. I may take a taste of a lemon. And now a lemon is not something I would typically just bite into without, you know, adulterating it at all, just straight. But I will probably try this broken one so I can get just the lemon part and, you know, just do it for being the sport. But I like to put these in drinks. If you like a more lemon flavor, you crush them. You can crush them up. If you like a little less lemon flavor, you can just float them in there. Depending on how finely you crush them or break them, you're going to get more or less flavor out of them. So just really, really nice to have. Put in your drinks, put in your tea. Like I said, I've used these in recipes. I've laid these over salmon fillets and cooked them that way. You could stuff them inside of a chicken cavity or, you know, lots of different things like that over any kind of fish. Really, really good things. All right, so let's try the lemon. Now, like I said, these are not necessarily meant for just straight eating. Some people might enjoy that. I am just doing this for sport. Usually lemons are a little too tart for me to eat them plain. Love them in drinks, love them in recipes. Let's give it a try. Very tart, but good. It's got a really ton of lemon flavor, but very tart. But that is really good. I can see why these are so popular. There's so much lemon flavor in these freeze-dried lemons. It's amazing. All right, now the corn. Now this outer bag is a little bit smaller because I think the corn is a little bit more dense, you know, so it takes up less space. So they're probably smaller pouches inside, smaller pouch outside. Let's get this opened. Once again, there is the Ziploc in the outer bag, and here are our pouches of corn. So these are super cute. So these are smaller because the corn is more dense. So a serving of corn is going to take up a lot less space. So this is just a 50-calorie serving. You get 2 grams of fiber in there, 2 grams of protein, which is pretty cool. But you can see, I kind of jumbled this one or crumpled it up a lot, but you can see here, I'll get one that's new, the difference in the pouch size just because of the different product that it is. But this corn is delicious. And like I said, it's so good on a salad. This would be the perfect serving size for like a salad or all sorts of things. So let's get this open. There it is. There is your seasoned corn. You can see all that seasoning. It's like a sriracha seasoning. It's not super spicy. It's really just flavorful, but I'm going to give it a try for you, even though I have tried this before. I love this stuff, actually. All right, and now for the corn, seasoned corn. This is delish because the corn itself, let's see. So much flavor in that. Teeny tiny bit spicy, but not very spicy at all. So much flavor, and the corn itself is super sweet and super delicious. So when you add that sort of salty, you know, slightly spicy, just sort of seasoning onto there, so much flavor in this. This is such an amazing snack just as is, or like I said, putting it on salads or any type of thing where you would want a crispy topping, sprinkling it over any type of food. Amazing. That is so good. I'm so glad that they came up with these small little snack pouches because this is the perfect little snack to carry around with you. So delicious. Now the figs, this bag is more like the size of the lemon bags because the figs are going to be more bulky. So here are the 10 bags of figs. Once again, this is a single serving size of figs. So this is just the fruit. All that's in here is figs, ingredients, figs, 35 calories. You still got your gram of fiber in there. Let's see what these are like on the inside. So here are your figs. Now, aren't these beautiful? I have only really ever been familiar with like dried, like dehydrated figs that are a lot darker. So these are beautiful. I love the pink color with the green, outer skin, which you can eat the whole thing. Look how beautiful that is. And they're actually really tasty too. And it's so different if all you've ever had is dried figs, which is all I was ever really familiar with. That's what my mom used to buy. So let's give these a try. Let's try the figs. I've got this beautiful, beautiful piece. Super tasty. That is so sweet and delicious. That really is like a really good, just sweet, crunchy snack, but it's so much healthier than eating candy or any type of dessert. Like, I love that. And figs is honestly not something that I ever see fresh at my grocery store. I'm pretty sure I can't remember ever seeing them fresh. It's just not something I would typically be able to just grab and snack on. So with these, I can have them in my pantry all the time at the ready, grab a bag. I can throw them in my kids' lunches. It's something totally different. Having variety in the foods that you eat is the best way to have a really kind of nutritious diet and fill all of your nutrient gaps that you have. So to be able to add something different like that easily, game changer. And now the sugar snap peas. Once again, this is a bag more about the size of the corn bag. And here are the peas. I love the colors of these bags. I love them. So this is a beautiful blue bag of snap peas. Now this one, it is just freeze-dried sugar snap peas. However, it does have some salt added, some sea salt. At first, the first time I ever tried these, I didn't love the salt added. I was expecting, I'm typically snacking just on fresh snap peas, like from a bag from the produce area or from the garden. So that's kind of what I was expecting. So the salt, I didn't really care for at first, but it kind of grew on me. They do make a nice, because they're crunchy like a chip. It's different than having a fresh snap pea. So having that salty with that crunchy, almost a texture like, you know, a corn puff or something like that. It really does give you that snackable sort of feeling. So the salt grew on me. And like I said, I'm thinking of my daughter who loves those snap pea crisps. This is a much healthier, cleaner sort of version of a similar thing. And those are salty. So for, you know, kids or people who are replacing that type of a snack, this is perfect. And here they are. Look at how cute. See, it literally is just the snap pea. Like, it's not adulterated at all. It does have the salt added, but it's just freeze-dried to make it super crisp. So let's give these a try. And this is a good size serving. This also has only 40 calories, only 6 grams of carbs, 2 grams of fiber. So there's only 4 grams of net carbs in this. You've got some iron and some potassium going on here, which is really, really important to have those extra minerals. In fact, I've recently learned that, like, it's not so much about how much sodium we have. It's more about having the right balance of sodium and potassium and other electrolytes, but especially sodium and potassium. So I like that this has a higher percent of potassium than it does of sodium. That's actually ideal. All right, let's try the snap peas. That can definitely be addictive. Like I said, it still has that real snap pea flavor, just a little bit saltier and super crunchy. This is like completely great for just a salty snack. It's going to be such a better option than those other chips I talked about. And now, of course, we've got our can. So these are the freeze-dried green beans. And these, because of the can, so once you get the can, you get a much longer shelf life. That doesn't mean it's the only kind of thing you need in your prepper pantry. It just means you don't have to worry about rotating it as quickly or as frequently, but you still should rotate these things, because I've seen way too many people, you know, stash cans under their basement stairs for 20 or 30 years and then just throw them away, or, you know, give them away on the curb. And that's a huge waste of money. So definitely, you know, learn how to use the food that you store. It's just the way we should do it. So 30-year shelf life on these cans. They make a great ingredient, and they also can be eaten on their own, either dry or rehydrated. Make a great side dish, make a great healthy snack. You're going to get 4 grams of fiber in a cup of these. So this is another great, you know, even just to snack on dry. They're delicious. You could dip them. They're crunchy like a, you know, chip or something. So this is just a great substitute for that as well. So let's see. They've got this nice clip-on lid. These are very, very secure. And then underneath, of course, you've got your can. Now, these are double enamel food lined, which means you're not going to get any kind of metallic taste in your food. It's going to protect the food. It's going to protect the can as well. It's all food grade, food safe, and it's going to keep your can from rotting or rusting or any type of thing. So these are the best quality cans that you can get in the industry. And opening, the bigger the can, the harder it is to open with a regular can opener, but this can opener makes this a breeze. So fast and so easy. And look at how full that can is. That is one thing that Thrivalist is known for, and Ready Harvest is filling those cans. I'm going to take the camera down so you can see. Filling those cans just about to the brim. Obviously, you're going to have some settling as it ships, but they fill really full. And that is part of their, you know, quality promise. And I love that, because if you're storing a whole bunch of cans and you've got, you know, 3-4 inches of airspace in every single can, that's a huge amount of wasted space that you are wasting. And storage is a premium issue for everyone, really. Nobody has enough space to store everything they want to store. One thing I learned from dealing with Thrivalist and Ready Harvest is that the weight on the can, yes, companies do have to fill to that weight. They can't go below that, but they can go above that. It's fine to go above it. So that's what Thrivalist does. Once again, these are amazingly crispy and just beautiful. So let's give them a try. So let's try one of these green beans. That is really good. It's got like a sweetness to it. It tastes like a green bean. It's not sweet, like sugary sweet, but it's like a natural. One thing I've noticed about a lot of freeze-dried green vegetables especially, but like just vegetables in general, when they're freeze-dried, I think it's because they pick like the premium quality product and they taste test a lot before they pick the one they're going to use, because they have like a sweetness to them that's so much more enjoyable than just eating that fresh, like even right out of the garden. Like I enjoy that sweet kind of garden fresh flavor. I don't know how to explain it, but I've noticed it with broccoli. I noticed it with, the green beans, the freeze-dried sweet corn. It's just so sweet and so good. And of course it's good for cooking and using in recipes as well. But just fresh eating like that is actually really, really good. All right, now that my water's hot, I'm going to get these going now. Okay, this one should have just pour, that's the instructions. Pour in the boiling water. Oh no, this does also tell you to microwave. Room temperature water and microwave, but a ton of these cups, I just put the boiling water in, so I'm sure that will work for this. I wouldn't really want to microwave. This feels like styrofoam. Maybe it's actually paper. Maybe it's like a formed paper. I'm not really sure, but I'm going to do this with the hot water. I'm sure that this one will work. You can see it's got a water line down in there. This is what it looks like. It looks like it's got chunks of meat and some seasoning and not really any vegetables. Let's see if it's real freeze-dried meat or if it's just so texturized soy protein. So yeah, I don't think it's real freeze-dried meat, but anyhow, so we're going to try this one. And like I said, these other ones, they have microwave instructions. They're not really meant to have the boiling water poured in, but that's why I'm testing this. I want to see if it will work to just pour the boiling water in, and because that would make it much more emergency friendly. Some people do have a certain microwave that they store, to use on their power stations in an emergency. So that is a possibility. But for me, I'd rather have something I can just pour boiling water into. So I'm going to test these out and see if that will work. So this one, remove lid and flavor pouch. So you do put the flavor pouch in before you put the water in. So I will do that. It's just kept separate, I think, to keep things from sort of off-gassing and all of that stuff. So we're going to try this with just the hot water. Here is the flavor pouch. It's pretty substantial. It's pretty large. And this looks like it has the potatoes and maybe the little bits of sausage, or maybe that's just potato peels, and this is actually the sausage in here. We'll see when we put this all together. And then this Tangle protein noodles. This also has quite a few pouches. So this feels like a liquid sauce, like a tomato sauce. It says step 2. Here's a powder, step 3. And flakes, step 1. So, and then there's the noodles. These are high protein noodles. Add the flakes, put in the water, microwave, add the sauce and powder, stir until the noodles have absorbed the sauce evenly, then enjoy. So I'll probably put the flakes in and then add the boiling water, let it set. Hopefully it will absorb enough, cook enough. I might leave it a little bit extra time. Usually that will work. So we'll see if that will work. And then I will add the powder and the sauce. And of course, if this doesn't work, any of these with just the boiling water, I can put it in the microwave after the fact. So nothing is going to go to waste. If it doesn't work, we'll just make it work another way. The other thing is you could pour these into a small pot and do them that way. If you didn't have, access to a microwave, if it was a power outage and you couldn't get it to work with just boiling water, you can put these things into a small pot and do it that way. I've definitely done that before. All right, so my water is nice and boiling. Going to add the flavor pouch to this one. Another thing that can help with these types of meals is, it's something I do with pouch meals all the time, is to put it inside of an insulated lunch bag, and that'll kind of help hold the heat in. So if it doesn't really work with pouring the boiling water in, that can help. So, all right, let's put this in. All right, here is the cheesy sauce mix. I think I do see, at first I didn't think, but see those little balls? I don't think they're chunks of sauce. I think those may be the sausage. So I think it was in the sauce pouch and not in with the potatoes. So I can see the fill line printed there. I'm going to go ahead and add my boiling water. I should probably give this a stir. Get all of that sauce dissolved and moistened. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and set this aside and let it set for a little bit. Now let's do this one. So I'm going to put the flakes in first. So let's see what the flakes looks like. It looks like mostly dried bits of tomato. And a little something else, which is probably onion, probably dehydrated onion, I would imagine. All right, that water line is just barely above the noodles. So we've got that ready to go. I'm saving these 2 other pouches for later. Gonna go ahead and get that setting. And now we'll try this one. I think this would need the least amount of time to set because these typically work well with just boiling water, although this one calls for microwaving. Okay, the water, ooh, it smells pretty good if you like barbecue, which I do. So that is gonna set also. And I'll be back in a few and we'll see how they come out. For this macaroni and cheese, so this is the Monterey Jack and caramelized onion, which sounds really good to me, but I let my daughter pick. She actually said she'd be happy to try any of them because I'm going to be feeding her a lot of what's left over because we're not eating a lot of pasta right now, Mr. Wicked Prepared and I. So here's what it looks like inside. That does have a fancier kind of noodle. So each of these has, so this is cavatappi pasta. Each of these has a fancier noodle than your typical mac and cheese. And the sauce pouch is a powdered pouch. So that's, I was kind of expecting these to be like the liquid type of pouch, like a Velveeta shells and cheese already mixed up. So that is one negative to these when it comes to emergency usage is you do need butter and milk. Of course, we always have butter powder, instant milk powder. We have, you know, the Tetra Pak milk like I showed you earlier. We've got canned butter. So you can use other things for that as well, like some media crema or something. But you do want to have a little something usually instead of just the water. If it was a dire emergency, you could use the water, but it wouldn't taste as good. It wouldn't be as satisfying. Their little logo here, I don't know if you can see it. It says stay in and dine out, since the idea here is the restaurant style mac and cheese. I guess they're saying you can stay home and, oops, that powder is all the way up to the top. Saying you can stay home and have a restaurant style meal. Sure smells good. All right, let's check on some of these cups. I'm going to check this one first because, like I said, I think this one would go the fastest. So this is looking pretty good. Looks like it's absorbed most of the water. The beef pieces on top look like they've gotten pretty tender, soaked up a lot of liquid. I'm going to give it a stir and then just let it set a little bit longer so that the top part is on the underneath and vice versa, just so that everything gets tender. Not a lot of liquid left in this, which is kind of how the other ones have been like this. It's more like they're just the noodles with a little bit of sauce and a little bit of liquid for flavor. So if you wanted it more soupy, I'm sure you could add more water, but I think this is the way these are pretty much supposed to be because, like I said, the other ones like this have been like this. Now let's check out this one. So this is the breakfast potato one. So let's see. This is looking pretty good. So it feels like the potatoes have gotten soft. There's a little bit of liquid on the top, but as I'm stirring this, it's really kind of, make sure that's clear. It's really kind of looking like I think this came together pretty well. Now, I don't know what it was supposed to be like with the microwave because I've never tried it before, but this looks pretty good. I'm going to let this one sit also. Like I said, I'm going to stir up a little bit more to get these chunks of cheese powder that didn't get broken up before. And I'm going to let this just set just a little bit longer, but this looks like it's pretty much ready to go, ready to taste. And now for this Tangle protein pasta, let's see. That's looking pretty good. There's still some water in there, but these noodles feel tender. Let's give this a stir. So this was the one where it said to microwave it and then to add the sauce powder and, the powder packet and the sauce packet and stir it until it absorbed all the water. So I'm assuming that thickens it up a little bit. Actually, it's the sauce, step 2, and then the powder, step 3. So let's try this. So this, if you can see it coming out, it's kind of like, looks like a very concentrated tomato-y, I don't know, sort of sauce. Let's see what this is going to be like. Definitely looks dark and concentrated, like it's going to have a lot of flavor once it's mixed around, so that would be good. I think I've pretty much got all the sauce out of there, so let's stir this around. At least get it started. And now the powder, because if this is going to thicken, I think the powder is going to be what thickens it. And maybe a little bit more time. So there's the powder. It's not red at all. It's just more like, it smells very garlicky, Italian-y, like an Italian restaurant. It smells very good. So let's stir this around and see if this is going to thicken it up at all. It smells really good. All right, I'm going to let this sit just a little bit longer, see if it gets any thicker. I've never tried this one before, so I'm not sure what it's supposed to be like. But remember, they also have these, which are the ramen type of packets. They're a packet like a typical ramen that you just cook in a pot on the stove. And from the nutritional information, it looks like it's the same serving size. It's just a different cooking method. So these might be more emergency friendly. But like I said, this could be dumped out into a pot just the same. And I'm not even sure if it's supposed to be thicker than this, but I may throw it in the microwave for a little bit after I taste it and just see what the differences are. All right, I think this one is ready to try. Look at that. There's all your beef pieces, probably fake beef pieces, but the water really is pretty much all absorbed. This really doesn't have any broth, which is, I think, the way that it's intended. All right, let's give this a try. All right, here is the Texas barbecue noodles, ramen noodles. That's pretty good. That's a little spicy, actually. Is Texas barbecue usually spicy? It's very good and barbecue-y. It's got like a smoky flavor. It doesn't have much of a sweet flavor, which I do like sweet barbecue, but this is actually really good. It's like a salty, smoky, slightly spicy flavor. And I think it's pretty tasty. And you could add some actual freeze-dried beef dices into this when you add the water, maybe some freeze-dried corn, something like that would make this into more of a meal. It is a little teeny bit spicy, but it's actually really tasty. I like that. All right, so let's try them. The cheesy hash brown breakfast with some sausage. I wonder if I can find a piece of sausage. All right, I think I've got some sausage in this bite. This is nice and thickened up. It's nice and it's perfect. Let's see how it tastes. That's pretty tasty. I was afraid the potatoes would be mushy. Like, it seems almost like they would be mushy stirring it, but they're really not mushy. They're not firm. They're not hard. I mean, they're firm enough. They're not like too hard, but they're not super mushy. It's got a pretty good flavor. It's got a little bit of like that, you know, fake cheesy flavor, but it's a good flavor. It's just salty enough for me, not too salty. You know, I enjoy the flavor of that. I can't say that I've really noticed the sausage. Okay, there's a piece of sausage. That definitely has a sausage flavor. That was good. Very small pieces of sausage and not a ton in here. But for a little like just add water cup like this, you wouldn't really expect a ton of sausage. You could add more of your own freeze-dried sausage crumbles. That would be perfect to throw into that if you wanted to have it just a little bit more hearty, a little bit more meaty. But that's good tasting, and it does have the little sausage crumbles. It came out perfectly just adding the boiling water, no microwave needed. So that would be really great to have on hand for emergencies. First thing in the morning, that would be very filling, very satisfying, very warming. It would be wonderful to have to get you just primed for a day of whatever you have, you know, on your plate in that emergency situation. Okay, these Tangle noodles. I am excited to try these because they smell super yummy. They smell so good. They take me back to like maybe something from my college days or something. It reminds me of something that I used to eat during college. All right, so let's try a bite. That is pretty good. It's tomatoey. It's a little sweet, but it's not overly sweet. I actually think it's really pretty tasty. It's got plenty of flavor. Yeah, for sure. I'm going to have my kids try this because they love like tomato sauce pasta. And I think this would be a really good meal. It's got the extra protein Definitely a really full, hearty. You would be full after eating this, and you get all the protein. This is definitely, I like all of these, just add water meals that we've tried so far have been, I think, winners in my book. All right, here is the mac and cheese. Well, this is the macaroni, cooked and drained. And this one is calling for 4 tablespoons of butter and 1/3 of a cup of milk. So I've got my milk right here, got my butter right here. Go ahead and add the butter while the pasta is hot and get this melting. That's 4 tablespoons of butter. I may put this back on the stove if I need to get this melted and thickened up. However, this just got drained, so it's still pretty hot. This definitely looks like a much nicer pasta than what you typically get in your, blue box mac and cheese. Incidentally, this does say about 4 servings per container, which I believe the regular typical blue box is 3 servings. All right, so I think my butter is pretty much melted. I'm going to go ahead and add my milk, and I've got my sauce powder here. So let's get that in here. Now I may add some more milk if I feel like I need it to get this sauce to really become smooth. I don't typically follow instructions and measure the milk and butter and all that for a boxed mac and cheese, but when I'm taste testing something for the first time, I do like to, try to go with what they call for, just to make sure that if I don't like it, it's not because of something that I did. But sometimes you just need a little bit more milk to get that powder to really fully incorporate. But this looks like it's going to be okay. All right, I'm going to dish this out so we can give it a try. It looks really nice, actually. It looks nice and thick and rich. Smells really good. Can't wait to try this. Look at how nice and thick that sauce is on the spoon, if you can tell. All right, I cannot wait to try this caramelized onion, Monterey Jack, mac and cheese. What was it called? But I can't wait to try it and see how it is. That is tasty. Let's try one more bite. That's definitely got some different flavor from that caramelized onion. It feels a lot more kind of grown up and satisfying than just eating the blue box. Although don't get me wrong, I love blue box mac and cheese. I always have. That's definitely rich and a little bit different. And it's got those big, like real pastas. It tastes and feels like you're eating like a real meal. So this is good. I would definitely look for rebates. $3 I think is a lot to pay for a boxed pasta dish with sauce regardless. But like I said, I got those for free by using my Ibotta rebate. So check that out. Check out other rebate apps. Check out sales at your stores. Definitely worth buying, but try to get a better deal if you can. All right, so let's check out this stove carry bag. I want to see if this is really as cool as it looked online and if it will work for both of my stoves the way I'm hoping. All right, so let's see. All right, so this feels nice and substantial. Definitely feels rugged. See, here's the zippers all the way down here. Now this is Gas One brand. So you can see this is a pouch for the big propane canister. These are a couple of pouches for the smaller butane canisters. Because this is Gas One brand, I definitely expect it to fit my Gas One brand stove, which is my newest butane stove. It's actually dual fuel. And so I really, really love it. I definitely expect this to fit in here. I'm not sure about my Coleman because the case is slightly larger. But other than that, the stoves are very similar. So let's see if it fits. All right, so here is my newer dual fuel stove. Because it is supposed to fit in the case inside, which I like. I wouldn't want to remove it from its hard case in order just to put it in this. But I also like having the extra added protection around the hard case because I've actually, one of the many reasons I replaced my Coleman is because I broke the case, the hinges. It still functions, but as well as broke parts of the stove. So that definitely fits in here. I've got a couple cans of butane here. They don't actually have the caps on them because these are ones that are actually in use in my kitchen right now. But let's see, they go down in here. Perfect. That holds them perfectly in there. And they can actually go down even further so that this elastic loop would kind of hold them in better. And then I have got a propane canister. So that goes right down in here. So that's awesome. That holds that perfectly. And you know what else? This is part of the dual fuel sort of mechanism, the thing you have to use to be able to kind of convert it to use the propane. So I could store it back inside the stove where it came, but I just never put it back there. So actually, I like that I could throw that right in there as well. So room for accessories, or I could just use one can of butane and keep the accessories in the other pouch. So that's awesome. So let's see if this is going to fit the Coleman stove or not. All right, so this is my Coleman. It is, it's been through a lot. It is bigger than the gas one. So let's see if this one will fit. Ooh, it might. Let's see. Wow. So yeah, so that does fit. That actually fits like a glove. Like there was some extra space with the gas one, and maybe that's why they designed it that way. So you can use it with, I don't know about every stove, but I know my Coleman butane stove has a much larger case. It doesn't kind of, I don't know how to explain it, but there's a little thing that it's just not as small as the gas one, but this fits both of them and the extra fuel. So I love this because this can be ready to go. It's going to protect the stove extra. I've got a couple fuels and all my accessories right here ready to grab and go. I may actually keep my Coleman in this and just use my gas one, around the house. And then we'll have one ready to go if we need to run off in an emergency or any other situation where we might want to just grab a stove and go. Picnic, camping, all kinds of stuff. Awesome. Let me know what caught your eye from today's haul and what you've been stocking up on lately. If you want to build a strong prepper pantry for less money, sign up for my text alert system and I will send you a message anytime there's a new deal or a coupon code on the best long-term prepper pantry items. For the basics, text alert to my number that you're going to see on the screen and down below the video. If you're a diehard who doesn't want to miss a single deal, text Insider to get on my Insiders list. Check out links below the video to find our Deals and Steals Facebook group and newsletter link, as well as a link to check out anything you saw today that caught your eye. And especially check out those deals that are ending today, because once they're gone, they're gone. I always include any coupon codes I have down below and sometimes links that auto-apply discounts as well. Don't forget to hit like while you're down there and double check you're still subscribed to the channel. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, leave me a fish emoji down in the comments and check out this video next for some more info you need right now. I'm Jara with Wicked Prepared. Survive today, thrive tomorrow. We'll see you next time.